And now, fight fans from inside of MGM Grand Garden Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, we are set to go 10 rounds for this, the vacant WBA Interim Flyweight Championship of the World. This battle is presented by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and brought to you by Tecate, the official beer of boxing. Hennessy, never stop, never settle. And Grapefruit Crush, grab it in stores everywhere, knockout flavor. The WBA supervisor for this bout is Julio Time with your 3 judges scoring at ringside. Tim Cheatham, Chris Flores, and Steve Weisfeld. And when the action begins inside the ring, your referee in charge, Hall of Famer Robert Byrd. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black and red, trimmed in gold, she weighed in officially 111 pounds. In 7 professional bouts, she stands perfect with 7 victories, no defeats, 1 win coming by way of knockout. Here is the 2012 U.S. Olympian from Houston, Texas, Marlen Esparza. And across the ring, her opponent fighting out of the red corner. Wearing black with gold, she weighed in officially 110 1/2 pounds. In 17 professional bouts, she is perfect. 17 victories, no defeats. 7 big wins coming by way of knockout. Hailing from, fighting out of, representing East LA, California. Here is the undefeated Superman, Seniesa Estrada.
Ladies, I gave you instructions in the dressing room. What I'm going to remind you of now is when I say stop, what that means is stop whatever you're doing, give me a clean break. Protect yourself at all times and obey my commands at all times. Now, anything on the belt and above is going to be good. If it's on the belt and above, it's going to be good. Ladies, let's do this.
Once again, 3-minute rounds here in Las Vegas. Marlen Esparza, Seniesa Estrada. One of the things, Sergio, that I thought was most interesting from Esparza in this fight, she said, look, 2 minutes is a sprint. Your brain never gets to be calm. It doesn't give you enough time to do a lot of setup. You're just kind of always getting in there and just having this brief spurt. Let's see what happens now when they get the full 3 minutes.
And Marlen Esparza has fought 3 minutes before. This is the first time Estrada's going to be fighting 3 minutes. Seniesa Estrada coming out as a southpaw angle. We're going to see a lot of that. She switches back and forth from lefty to righty. Right here we see her with southpaw.
Marlen Esparza in the black trunks with the gold trim, with the red as well, and Estrada also in the black and gold, but again mostly the red and black for Esparza. Quick hands by Esparza, both are very active, and this is a real collision in the first round. A lot of electricity, good hook. Estrada really tagged Esparza there with the hook, and now she goes to the body. Excellent action here in the first minute of the first round. Maybe they don't need 3 minutes, Sergio.
The hype is living up. The hype is living up, that's for sure. Both of them landing great body shots. Fast combinations, both of them.
Well, you can see the amateur pedigree right away. You can see the skill level, the way they throw punches, the way they control space as well. It's a clean, sharp fight. Another hook lands by Estrada.
Esparza doing the right thing, throwing that straight right hand to Seniesa Estrada's body. Whenever you have a fighter that moves so much with their upper body and feet, it's the torso that's not going to work. That's not going to move.
Stop! Let up, let up. Stop, stop. Don't do that.
And so now already, instead of a countdown to the end of the round, we're halfway through. It does change the dynamic quite a bit, Sergio, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. See, that extra minute is going to be crucial.
Thudding right hand there by Esparza. Both have shown their weapons already, Sergio, and you can see their strengths.
Yes, they have, and Esparza's showing some veteran tactics right now. I like the fact that she's doing that. When Seniesa Estrada puts her head down, she's pushing her down. That way she can take the legs of Estrada. It's an illegal tactic, but it's up to the referee, Robert Bird, to take off points or warn her.
Well, there we go. He might do that right now, and a good move.
Don't do that.
Yeah, Robert Bird, good move right there. Yeah, don't do that. Not near taking a point away, but that does give her an advantage, and it should not be allowed.
Listen, it's not dirty tactics unless you get warned and caught for it. And you know what, Esparza taking advantage of that because she's going to have a hard time slowing down the legs of Seniesa Estrada.
Good, crisp round here as we go to a 3-minute round, which again has happened before in women's boxing. It's just not the norm.
Good jab there by Esparza. There's that right hand to the body again. I like that.
And Estrada with a good counter hook as well. She switches over to southpaw.
Estrada with a nice body shot on the inside right there.
Digging in with that left hand. Seniesa Estrada in her corner. What do you think of that first round, Sergio?
I thought it was an excellent round. Both of them showed what they can do. You can definitely see the size difference in Esparza. She's the bigger fighter coming down in weight to make this fight happen. Or Seniesa's going up in weight, actually, but they're finally meeting. But you can see that Esparza's a bigger fighter, and I would edge out that first round to Esparza's heavier shots.
Round number 2 scheduled for 10, and again, all 3-minute rounds. Crisp action in the first round. Glancing blow there by Estrada, but it may have had an effect as Esparza lost her balance. Fires back with a straight right hand. Good fast action here in the early seconds of round number 2.
Good check hook there by Esparza. And Estrada comes back with a check hook of her own.
Yeah, I know, dangerous shots there. Estrada coming back and powerful. By the time she throws that left hook, then she switches over southpaw. Do you like that, Sergio?
Well, she's a stablemate of mine, like I said earlier, and we had the same trainer. And I used to do that as well, but she's a lot more adept at punching from a southpaw angle. She's very comfortable punching from that left-handed stance.
Somebody is going to catch somebody here, Sergio. Don't you get that feeling? I mean, the way they're exchanging and throwing their hard shots.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Especially the longer this fight goes. That extra minute will be crucial, Brian. Whether it's early in the fight, midway, or towards the end of the fight, that extra minute, that extra 10 minutes of fighting that we're going to get with that added minute is going to be crucial.
Well, I would just say this, and not knowing either fighter going in, Sergio, and again, you know Estrada quite well. This is the type of women's fight that you just like to see on the professional stage. Again, the amateur pedigree is there. We're talking about Esparza, who's won 9 straight national titles. Estrada, 105-5, and here they are fighting just a high-level professional bout.
It's beautiful to watch because these are two of the best in their weight division. Right now, the only thing that separated them is the fact that Marlen Esparza was a little bit heavier. But as far as pedigree goes, they both were successful amateurs, and it shows.
Both getting a little more tactical here, waiting, but the straight right hand from Esparza, and that landed.
I would like to see more jabs from Seniesa. Right now, she's looking for the big shots, for the big counters and left hooks, but a jab's going to set all that up.
Counter right hand there by Esparza. She's able to get under that. Body shot lands by Estrada. Mixing it up. Body then head.
Estrada, the smaller fighter, backing up the bigger fighter there, but not really landing right now. Esparza's really throwing that right hand a lot downstairs. You could tell that was a strategy. It's a good strategy, too, because the body's not going to move.
The bell coming, guys. Bell!
3. Good, crisp fight. There's a good right hand there by Marlen Esparza on the counter right. 3 rounds of action right now, all 3-minute rounds, scheduled for 10. And it has been crisp and it's been exciting so far.
Yes, it has. And it will serve Estrada right to start focusing on the body right now. You can see that Marlen Esparza is a bigger fighter, and she's landing the tallying blows right now. So if I were Estrada, I would be aiming at the body a little bit more.
You can see, I know Esparza only has the 7 professional fights, but you can just see the level of experience, right, Sergio? Or am I missing something here?
No, you can see the level of experience, and you can also see the size difference as well. Esparza's a bigger fighter, and you can see it.
In the trash talking between the two, Esparza did say, oh, look, you brought your little belt. You know, it's 108 pounds, it's 112, it's 4 pounds. But, you know, that's the advantage she tried to get.
Estrada landing some big shots right there.
Has a right hand as well.
Esparza pulled out, expecting Estrada not to punch. Estrada went to the body with a big left hook.
Estrada trying to claw her way in with a jab. Close the difference. The distance, excuse me. Esparza, though. Esparza makes you pay when you try to get in. I mean, she seems to have that right hand locked and loaded, Sergio.
And that's why she was a successful Olympian and a successful amateur fighter, because she knows how to control her emotions. She knows how to control the range, and she lets the fight come to her. She's an excellent counter puncher, and when she lets them hand go, she's an excellent combination puncher as well. Seniesa Estrada told us that angles are going to be key right here. I haven't seen too many angles on her part.
Final seconds of round number 3. Good sharp jab there by Estrada.
Mouthpiece.
Here, round 4. Marlen Esparza in the black and red. Seniesa Estrada in the black and gold. Ryan Garcia and Romero Duno coming up next. You know, Garcia's saying, you know, he had a baby daughter this year, and he's saying, hey, that really changed my life. But for Esparza, who actually gave birth, she said, you know what? It's hard to come back and be normal. I asked her, how are you after the birth and coming back and training, and you're so experienced, but you gave birth? And she said, oh, you don't come back the same person. She was 175 pounds when she gave birth. And she said, your body just does not come back. So again, there's a marked difference, of course, but Esparza is still trying to find herself and find that old rhythm, because there's just no way of being the same person physically, hormonally, when you come back after giving birth to a child.
No way, and that's the reason every single time people ask me, who's your favorite fighter? I say my mother, because women go through that type of pain. They can take the most pain, and they're the best fighters, and they're showing it tonight.
CompuBox numbers pretty even, Sergio. What do you think so far? Oh, good hard shot by Estrada, snapping back Esparza's head. Straight up the middle with, I believe, a jab. Close fight so far, Sergio?
I think it's a close fight. I would edge it to Marlen Esparza, but I expected that, because she's a bigger person coming in, so the heavier shots are going to take the toll on the smaller fighter. Seniesa Estrada needs to take this fight to the middle and later rounds, where speed and foot movement and action and angles are going to give the bigger Esparza a little bit more trouble.
Hey, Estrada's landing now in this round. Just as we put those numbers up, we said, hey, that's very even, and it looked like Esparza was having more success. Now Estrada's having a tremendous round. Straight right hand, now a hook.
I think conditioning is going to be a factor here. In the last round, Marlen Esparza had her feet up in her trainer's corner. She just looked a little bit more fatigued. Her body language told me that she was a little bit more tired. And Estrada looks like she's barely getting started.
Look at that. Now it's Estrada doing the taunting. It's been Esparza to this point doing the smiling and the smirking. She's been in command and control this round, very different. or slightly different. A little more success for Estrada.
And this is where that extra minute is going to be crucial as well, because right now it's still the 4th round, but that extra minute is really taking it out of Esparza. She's breathing a little bit heavier now. Her body language is telling me that fatigue is kicking in, even though she's fought 3 minutes before, and Estrada hasn't.
Final seconds, and that is a good round for Seniesa Estrada. Good round for Seniesa Estrada in round number 4. We're in round 5, scheduled for 10. Marlen Esparza, again, Olympic bronze medalist, amateur world champion in 2014, 2 years after the London Olympics, and again, 9 consecutive U.S. national titles. Chris Mannix is back with us ringside. Chris, very good fight so far. Your thoughts?
And look, both fighters very active. And I know Marlen Esparza had her doubts about how Seniesa Estrada would fare at this 112 pounds after fighting mostly 108 pounds. It looks like so far Estrada's very comfortable at this weight, and her power is carrying up to this weight.
Come on.
Wow. Estrada getting worn there, and she just ate a right hand on her way out.
Big body shot there by Estrada. That's what she needs to focus on a little bit more. The body of Esparza.
Watch your heads, guys. Watch your heads.
Digging in hard is Estrada there to the body. Throwing the hook, very fluid, moving back and forth, orthodox and southpaw. And again, I mentioned I thought that was her best round, round 4. Straight right hand by Esparza moving in and landing. Digging into the body is Estrada. And starting to get her rhythm.
Oh, big cut.
Huge gash on the forehead of Marlen Esparza. Wow.
And that must have been a headbutt, Brian, because gashes like that on the forehead usually don't come from the glove.
And that's coming out so deep and so red. You have to wonder if this can continue. I mean, the red now is also in her hair. She had that done before, but wow, that's a big and deep gash. I don't see how this fight can keep going.
And it's after the 4th round, so they will go to the judges' scorecards.
And you saw the referee, Robert Byrd, signal to the side that it was a headbutt.
You know, that is really a shame. This fight was shaping up into something special. And look, maybe it doesn't, but I'm looking at it even from here, from a few feet away. Chris, your thoughts? I mean, you can't keep fighting like that, can you?
Look, we saw Badu Jack fight through one of the worst cuts I've ever seen. That's a significant cut. If it does continue, Marlen Esparza is going to have to dig incredibly deep to stay in for the next 5 rounds of this fight.
And it's not even that it's bleeding into her eye, because it's an inch or two above her eye. It's just that it's so wide, it's so deep.
It's wide, but in that position, it looks like it's bleeding into both eyes. It's coming down both sides of her face. Her corner's going to have to take a good long look at it, and the doctor is going to have to take a long look at it as well.
I don't think they'll let it continue.
Yeah.
I just think the gash is too deep and too much blood is coming out.
I don't see a physician looking at that and saying that's okay. I have no idea. It's my experience in watching this. You see something that deep, no. Final seconds here. Robert Byrd has let this go in trying to allow this fight move on and take its natural course, but it's going to be very difficult as we go to the corners and we will listen in.
Deep breath, deep breath. You're good, you're good. Don't worry about that, you're good. I just want you to be a little bit more sharper whenever we're sitting there and she's in front of us, okay? You hear what I'm saying?
And here we see the heads clashing. It definitely was a head. That part of the forehead usually is an elbow or a headbutt, because a punch usually doesn't create that type of gash in that part of the head.
I need you to stay sharper though, okay? Yes, look, that round was close because... Okay. Yes. It doesn't matter, so that means you're going to look sharper this next round. You hear me? Stick to the game plan. Don't worry about that. Small cut. You hear me? Back foot, chin
They
down.
are telling Marlen Esparza, it's a small cut, don't worry about that. She's very game. She obviously wants to continue. Carlos Vargas, her cut man, closing that up. There are 4 ringside physicians there to take a look, and they're letting them fight.
Look, Marcus Brown, when he fought Badu Jack, the cut he opened up that took 136 stitches to close, that fight was right here in Las Vegas.
Sergio, your thoughts on this fight continuing? I'm just saying I'm surprised. I'm not demanding this fight stop. I'm just a bit surprised given how bad that cut looked initially.
Well, it's not bleeding right now. I think cutman Carlos in Esparza's corner did the right job right now to stop the bleeding, but it's a pretty even fight right now. And I'm glad they didn't stop it because both these fighters are really fighting their heart out.
Oh, look, and this is a career highlight. There's no question. They come into this. This is one of their biggest fights of their lives. Esparza clearly has been in the Olympics and winning a bronze medal. Obviously a career highlight. But this is a big moment for them. They don't want it to stop, and nobody gave any indication that they wanted it to stop either. Another hook lands by Estrada.
Estrada lands a big left hook, and that's a money punch right there, but Esparza took it well.
Seniesa Estrada's father said to be on a card like this, it is something we have worked on our whole life. He told us that, and he started to weep. Got emotional. Seniesa got emotional seeing her father feel like that. They have soaked up this rare air at the MGM all week, saying, look at where we are. All those cards, all those years, those small cards. Now we get to fight in Vegas on a big event, and they want to make the most of it.
I've seen it unfold since Seniesa Estrada was 8 years old, and I've seen their struggle. I know how much they wanted this, and especially with their father having personal troubles that he had coming up. He invested all his time and effort and love for this moment right here, for his daughter to be at this stage.
He had shaky moments in his life. He said, my daughter has saved me, gave me focus watching her fight.
And he struggled with gangs and drugs, and Seniesa Estrada and boxing saved his life.
Sergio, your thoughts on Esparza trying not to be distracted by that cut and the level of blood?
She's showing tremendous heart and guts, and credit to her cutman because the blood has been controlled right there, and credit to Seniesa Estrada not getting reckless, staying a little bit disciplined, knowing that Esparza is still dangerous, not going after the blood, not getting overly aggressive. Credit on both.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Good hard body shot there, moved Estrada back.
You know, there's another clash of heads, a strong one, that if you look at the top of Seniesa Estrada's head, you can see the blood that came from that spot.
Hard right hand, it's a sharp uppercut, now a hook.
And you could tell that Estrada's the smaller fighter because she's landing some big hooks right there on the inside. They're not even moving Esparza.
Another hard right hand to the body by Marlen Esparza in the black and red.
And as we're going to see in the main event, those are the dangers, Brian, of moving up in weight. Because your punches aren't going to be as heavy. You're not going to hurt the bigger fighter like you usually do.
Let's see if we're talking about that in the main event. That's coming up. Canelo Alvarez, Crusher Kovalev, Sergey Kovalev, light heavyweight champion. We go back to the corner because this is going to be busy work throughout the night if they try to keep this going.
I got you. Can't see the other side?
Not that well.
How was that? Better? Look, you're still catching her with your nice shots, but the only thing is we're not bending our legs no more, okay? We need to stay sharp because if we can't continue with that, they go to the scorecards and we're up right now. You hear me? Stay sharp. You hear me? How you doing, Marlen? Doctor wants to know. Okay. Keep it tight, okay? Yes. Chin down.
This is a real physical and mental battle for Marlen Esparza. Sergio, you can see in the corner there, she's looking around, people are working on her, the doctor is hovering over, and she's using all of her professionalism to stay focused on this fight.
And her trainer, Rudy Silva, is yelling at her, saying, you're up in the cards right now, do not relent. If they stop this fight, you're gonna win, but right now, do not relent.
Now, Robert Byrd did not break them there. So Estrada was free to punch. Landed a shot on Esparza with the hook as they were on the break.
You know, Esparza is the more comfortable fighter at this 112-pound weight, but as I watch these two, it looks like Estrada is the better conditioned fighter at this stage of the fight, more comfortable in this 3-minute round format.
I agree. And that's the reason I think the second half of the fight is going to be crucial for Estrada, since she is a smaller fighter moving up.
Free up your hands.
Good body shot right by Estrada. Esparza comes up with a check left hook.
And that is a short right hand by Esparza, too. It's just good, crisp, technical boxing. At high speed as well, two fighters in their prime.
Estrada fighting southpaw now. And one thing that Esparza hasn't been really biting on Estrada's foot feints as much as she used to, so she's a lot more comfortable. Estrada's comfortable in there too. They're both fighting their fight very comfortably.
Estrada with a straight left hand coming in, and that's when she was fighting out of the southpaw stance, so that was a power shot.
Body shot right there. Esparza's been throwing that right hand right to the body right there. That's a smart thing to do.
But 2 shots landing there by Estrada. These are difficult rounds to score, Chris.
Yeah, they are. I mean, both these fighters are landing some very good shots. But I've been very impressed the last 2 rounds at what I've seen out of Estrada. I'm sure some of it for Esparza is dealing with that cut, feeling that blood trickling down into her eye. She's been pawing at it periodically during this fight.
It's very distracting. There's no way around it. She's showing a lot of composure and poise, but it's something you have to deal with. It's difficult. Body shots there by Estrada.
And gash opens up again. Blood trickling down from that forehead.
Goes to this fight at distance, but
good check hook there by Seniesa Estrada.
One thing Esparza told us in the fighter meetings was that she had no idea how her body was going to respond to the latter stages of these 3-minute rounds. And so far, it looks like it's affecting her far more than it's affecting Estrada.
final seconds of round 7. And you've noticed we have stopped talking about the 2 to 3 minute round thing, as this just seems very natural. Chris, your thoughts as we're fighting 3-minute rounds here on a regular basis, at least in this fight?
Look, I understand there are detractors, but I'd like to see it.
Let's go back to the corner. We'll pick that up. But again, Carlos Vargas is going to go to work on Marlen Esparza, and they will try to focus her while stemming the tide of blood.
2 more rounds, Cam. 2 more rounds. We're winning this. We're winning this. I just need you to keep your legs bent, and when you finish, I need you rolling out, okay? Roll out. She's tired, okay? This is where your second wing kicks in. Let's go. Come on. Don't stop the face. Give the straight shots. Straight shots. You hear me? Let's go, champ.
Look at the back of that jacket. Don't worry about the cut, kid. I got it. Actually had it. Vargas had it stitched on the back of his jacket, and that tells the story. As this fight moves on, Marlen Esparza badly cut from a clash of heads earlier in the fight, but they haven't been able to let this one go, and we're in the 8th round. Brian Kenny, Sergio Mora, and Chris Mannix here ringside. Claudia Trejos is here as well. She'll have reports from the corner throughout these fights. Ryan Garcia in the co-feature next, and then Canelo Alvarez, Sergey Kovalev in the main event.
Estrada coming out blazing in this 8th round. They must have told her something in her corner. Her trainer, Dean Campos, must have told her something to cause this aggression from the smaller fighter in Estrada.
Maybe it's just time. They're not winning these rounds because Esparza's corner thinks they're winning these rounds, Sergio.
Oh, and she took another clean headbutt to that cut. You saw the wince on the face of Marlen Esparza.
And 2 hooks there from Estrada.
And Estrada doing the right thing, punching in between the shots. It might have been an accidental headbutt that might open up that cut, but leave that to the referee. Keep punching.
Sergio, let me ask you this. I've seen a couple of times Estrada do what I saw Otto Valen do with Tyson Fury, which is paw at that cut a little bit. A little bit of a dirty tactic, I thought, but something we have seen before in boxing.
It's not dirty unless you get caught. And right now, Robert Burt's doing a great job staying out of this fight because it's a hell of a fight.
Good exchange there. I haven't seen that, Chris. You thought she was pawing it?
Just this round.
Okay.
Just once this round when she came up with the gloves above the forehead of Esparza.
She's pushing her back there. Who knows, maybe she doesn't want to get overly bloodied either.
See, that's what makes Estrada dangerous. She's punching from the southpaw angle right there. Esparza tried to get out on that angle. Estrada didn't let her, punching from that southpaw stance.
And you have to remember, these head-to-head clashes have to be killing Marlen Esparza. When you go head on that cut, that has got to be incredibly painful.
You're right, and you're already cut.
It is.
Good combination there by Esparza, just trying to keep Estrada at bay and keep her back. Another good shot. Tell you what, Esparza has eaten some really good shots, and there's a hook to the jaw.
This is the first time I've seen Marlen Esparza relenting. Her body language is telling me that she's giving in a little bit. She's fighting a tough fight, maybe even might be ahead on the scorecards, but Estrada is finally breaking her down, it seems.
Just landing so many shots. Esparza dealing obviously with a lot of distress.
And just when I say that, Esparza come back with a big left hook.
And now she holds on a bit. First time that Robert Byrd has had to deal with this. Two clean shots by Estrada. Esparza looks hurt. Body and then head, and Seniesa Estrada has Esparza hurt.
This is the first time I've seen Esparza relent. In this 8th round, she finally looked hurt. The bigger fighter looked hurt.
And there is what happens with the extra minute, because that definitely happened in those final 45 seconds. Esparza looks a bit gassed, a bit hurt, dealing with that bad cut. Big round by Seniesa Estrada.
Good point, Brian. If it wasn't for that extra minute of fighting, this fight would have been over already.
That round was too close, Marlen. That round was too close. We gotta stay off them ropes, and we gotta be a little bit sharper, okay? Suck it up, mama. Let's go. Come on. I need your body language to look a little bit better. I need your body language to look a little bit better in that ring. Do you hear me? I understand that. We're calling it. We're trying to tell that ref that, okay? But I need you to stay sharp with your counters. You're running into your counters, but
there is the clash of heads again that Chris Maddox mentioned, and you see Esparza like almost screaming in pain. That is very, very painful. Already an open wound, and they whacked heads again.
I've been there before. It is very painful. Not only is it numb, but once you get headbutted again, it just irritates and brings the pain right back.
And you can see Esparza really just wanted to get out of that round. Let's see if she can get renewed energy in this one as we go into round 9. Again, 9 scheduled for 10. It's been a good, crisp fight, non-stop action. A big cut caused by a headbutt from Marlen Esparza. But she fights on, fighting with composure and strength. But in that last round, it looked like Estrada was starting to break her down.
Good check hook there by Estrada, keeping her range and distance.
I wonder if Estrada has done enough to win rounds, though, Sergio.
Well, the bigger fighter was Esparza. We knew that coming in, so the toweling, it looked like the toweling blows were coming from her. But in the last couple of rounds, Estrada has been putting the pressure, landing the cleaner shots with speed and angles as well.
Esparza also has a great chin. I mean, Estrada just clocked her twice with left hands from the southpaw position in the power position.
But that's because, I don't know if it's the chin or it's the fact that Marlen Esparza is just naturally the bigger fighter, and Estrada's punching power is not translating to the bigger weight class.
Those are whacking shots. Her head's whacked back, Sergio. I think she's got a good jaw.
This is a dangerous, that's what's dangerous about moving up in weight.
It's lean. It's 4 pounds, Sergio.
4 pounds as far as moving up, but then after they rehydrate, the 4 pounds turns into 14 pounds.
Yeah, if you don't look at these two fighters, do you see a massive difference? You do see a massive difference.
You could definitely see that as far as a bigger fighter.
I see some trash talk between these two now. It seems like the bad blood continues to spill.
Claudia Trejos again working in the corners. Claudia, what do you have? Claudia?
Thank you, Brian Kinney. I just spoke with Carlos Vargas. That's Esparza's cut man. He's keeping everything under control with something called epinephrine, which is actually adrenaline. He says the doctor is keeping a watchful eye over that cut, but he doesn't think it's necessary to stop the fight because Esparza is going forward, is still in the fight, and still in action. Back to you.
Claudia, thank you so much. Also with us tonight is Hall of Fame referee Steve Smoger. And Steve, your thoughts again. I saw that cut initially. I thought this fight will continue. You've seen thousands of these fights. Your thoughts on this?
Brian, I think they did a hell of a job. I wanted to give them that in-between round to see if they could control it. It's controlled. There was no reason in my mind to stop it at all.
Thank you, Steve.
But the reality is, Brian, if they didn't stop the Badu Jack fight, unlikely they stopped this one.
Good punches being landed by Seniesa Estrada. And if there wasn't enough drama into this fight, Carlos Vargas, who's a cut man of Marlen Esparza, used to be Seniesa Estrada's cut man before, but there was some disagreement there, and that's the reason we see Cutman Carlos on the opposite corner now.
Really?
Yeah.
Vargas is earning his money tonight. No question about it.
Another clash of heads, and you see Esparza pawing at that cut.
1 round left. It's been outstanding.
Bend your legs. Hold on, 1, headbutt, that headbutt. She can't see.
Can't see.
No.
You can't let her continue.
No, well, what, but she got headbutted.
But if she can't see, she can't continue. And here we go, one more time, Las Vegas.
I think they're looking for a reason for Marlen Esparza not to finish this last round.
Can you see? Fight's over.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow, it's over. Robert Byrd waves it off. Now, who stopped that fight?
Marlen Esparza looked gassed to me when she went to that corner. I think she might have showed the body language of not wanting to continue that last round, and that's the reason Seniesa Estrada is the winner tonight.
Wow. Wow, stunning in that Esparza round after round was gutting it out. And then the reason I'm just questioning is, did a doctor say that's enough? Or did her corner say it's enough? Or did the corner look at Esparza and say, we don't want you to go back out there?
I think Esparza's corner wanted her to go back out there. It was Marlen Esparza that gave her the body language, or must have said something, not want to continue. She only had 3 minutes left, but those 3 minutes would have been painful for her.
Claudia Trejos just told me that it was Esparza's choice. So she's had enough. And you know what? I'm not judging that either. What she's gone through in this fight, I mean, that cut, getting whacked continually, and it's from a headbutt too. So she's game, but I guess she just could not continue.
No, she cannot continue. The cut man did a great job making the blood stop, but she was gassed to me, Brian. I pointed at her and said the way she collapsed on her chair, it seemed that she was physically exhausted. Add the blood, the cut, Seniesa Estrada getting stronger, a little bit of everything.
We're going to go back to the corner, and let's see what we can get from this as we go back to the corner of Marlen Esparza and what you were describing and what she was saying.
Can you see? No. I'm talking to you. Can you see? Fight's over.
Okay, so can you see? And she said, I can't go. Is that what she said?
She said, no, I can't. So they asked her, can you see? She said, no. That just gives the referee a chance to stop the fight. Esparza didn't want to continue.
And Robert Byrd did the absolute right thing. This fight's over. Right. And he said, I'm asking you. So he's very clear. Again, we have Hall of Fame referee Steve Smoger with us. Steve, your thoughts on what just transpired and what we saw with Robert Byrd?
Well, Robert did an excellent job. My question is, it was caused by an accidental headbutt. If the doctor had intervened, they'd have gone to the cards. I thought that would have been the most fair thing to do. But apparently, once a fighter says to a referee, I can't see, that's it.
Yeah, Steve, I'm glad you said that, because that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Would it be stopped because of the doctors? Chris Mannix, what do you have?
Yeah, there should have been go to
Like a referee, Robert Byrd, Brian, and this fight isn't over. I mean, it is over, but there isn't a decision yet. It goes to the scorecard.
So it is going to the cards.
It is
not
going
a
to the cards right now.
All right, so it is not a TKO. But wait, if he said this fight is over because you can't see,
no, this is a TKO. She said she couldn't see anymore, and they stopped it. This is a TKO.
All right, so there's a lot of confusion right now. I thought initially, if she says I can't continue, ref stops it, Steve, then it's over because she is not continuing, and it's an Estrada win, right? Let's go back to Steve Smoger and pull up his mic. Steve?
It's exactly right. Once she says I can't see, that gives the referee the ability to stop it for the safety of the fighter. My concern was it was caused by an accidental headbutt. Had she just kept her mouth shut, it would have gone to the cards.
Okay, so this could be going to the cards right now. I believe that's what we're hearing. It is going to the cards, which means, I guess the interpretation from Robert Byrd was that, hey, I've had enough because of the headbutt, which seems fair, saying that because of the headbutt this can't continue, let's go to the cards.
I'm so glad they're going to the cards, because the way these two women fought, they fought like warriors. Esparza went through hell. She deserves the decision. Let the judges decide this.
I agree. If it can't continue because of an accidental headbutt, it goes to the cards after round 4. We're in round 9. That's the way it should be. Estrada, the way she was celebrating, it did look like TKO victory, and there was obviously, from the way we heard it, you could take it that way. I'm glad it's going to the cards.
Me too.
And we have the cards ready to go already. Nope, Joe Martinez saying, no, I don't just yet. So there's some confusion. Martinez going over to the corner. Robert Byrd is having a discussion. You can see the judges right there. Even Jay Nady is back there. Steve Weisfeld behind him.
And that's why we have Steve Smoger here to clear things up for me, because there's a lot of confusion here.
It's Adelaide Bird, Tim Cheatham, and Steve Weisfeld are the judges. This was not an easy fight to score. Early on, we certainly had the impression that Esparza was winning those early rounds. Estrada winning some of the later rounds. Sometimes you're influenced by the flow of blood. Esparza did not look good, certainly. All right, Joe Martinez now says he's ready. Joe, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to an accidental headbutt sustained to the head of Esparza, we go to the scorecards. All 9 rounds will be scored. Here are the totals. Steve Weisfeld scores at 90-81. Chris Flores, 89-82. And Tim Cheatham, 88-83. Your winner by technical unanimous decision. Now the WBA interim flyweight world champion and still undefeated from East LA, Superbad, Seniesa Estrada.
Wow.
90-81.
Wow.